Oh. No, I know.
Questions asked.
Okay, welcome everyone. Let's begin our Unified Police Board meeting. Harmony, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Director Brems,
Here.
Director Cardenas,
Here.
Director Daly, Director Gettle,
Here.
Director Jackson,
Here.
Director Keegley,
Here.
Director McCalman, Director Peterson, Director Prokopis.
Here.
Thank you. We would like to change our agenda this morning. We have a report from an auditor who's stuck in traffic. So item 4 and item 5, we're going to move after item 9. Thank you. Now, is there any public comment today?
Good morning, board. My name is Jaime Cardenas. I'm representative for the Salt Lake Valley Law Enforcement Association, which represents the employees of Unified Police. So with that being said, we have some parting gifts for the board members that are leaving for us. And we want to just thank you for the continued support that you've shown us throughout your tenure here on the board. And it really means a lot to us. And we have a small little gesture to say thank you. Thank you for thinking of us when making decisions, and thank you for asking for our input when it comes to decisions that you make. So we have some people that are not here, but those that are here, we want to recognize. So. I made these myself. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, my cousins did. Just kidding. As there's my resignation right there. So no, seriously, it means a lot, and we look forward to working with the board right now and navigating the future. And this is why UPD culture is what it is. People are fighting to come work with us for your community, and this is a large portion of why. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Thank you. We'll move to item number 3. It's a VOCA grant update. Amanda Watrous.
Good morning. So Tessa Cole and I are here to give an update on our VOCA grant. VOCA requires us to present twice a year and to update you all on what's going on with the program and what our victim advocates are seeing out there. And so with that in mind, I'll have Tessa kind of introduce herself and then tell you what she's seeing. And after we can take any questions you may have. Thanks.
Good morning. My name is Tessa Cole. I am the full-time victim advocate here in Mill Creek. I'm one of 5 full-time advocates that we have. And our VOCA grant affords us to be able to work any type of person crimes. So that includes homicide, domestic violence, anything with children, sexual assault crimes, that kind of stuff. We are seeing a bit of an influx in crimes just across the board as it is. Nothing too specific as far as the crimes that we're seeing, but just to kind of give you guys a brief overview of some of the stuff that the grant affords us to be able to do in our work, is I found out yesterday that one of our frequent flyer perpetrators for domestic violence has been ordered to serve 540 days in jail. So that took a lot of one-on-one work with the city prosecutor for Holiday, and we remanded him into custody. So it's an excellent program. I've got 26 years. I enjoy it, and I love working here in Mill Creek. So if you guys have any questions? Nothing? Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Now we'll go to item number 6, an update by Chief Jason Mazerin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick UPD update. Last Saturday, we had our Shopping with the Shield event in Midvale. Some of you attended. We were able to help 15 families and 51 children. Great event. Had a lot of fun. And we appreciate everybody that organized that, set that up. And appreciated those that offered to help next year. And just as a little side note, we were finishing up with our last family standing at the register, and this guy was looking at myself and Chief Andrew Werden, and he said, "What are you guys doing?" And we explained what we were doing. He said, "How can I help? And can I make a donation?" And right there on the spot, he bought, was it 4 gift cards? 4 gift cards to donate to the cause just by seeing what was happening and wanting to be a part of it. So really generous people out there, and it was a great event. On Monday, December 29th, we'll be having a swearing-in ceremony here at Mill Creek City Hall in these council chambers. As always, you're invited to attend that. And then it's sad, but it's important to recognize on Tuesday, January 20th, is the 10-year anniversary of Doug Barney's murder and holiday. So it's hard to believe it's gone by that quickly, but that happened 10 years ago next month. And we'll be holding a memorial at the Holiday City Hall Auditorium. You are all invited, of course, to attend. And we have been in contact with Doug's family, and so there'll be a number of family members that come to attend that 10-year anniversary. So we certainly will never forget Doug's sacrifice. You will be hearing a little bit later about the audit. That's a very important process, as you're all aware, to make sure that we're financially healthy, we're doing the right things the right ways. And I'm looking forward to you hearing about the audit. It's a very good one. We're in great shape. But I want to thank Debbie and her staff for the tremendous amount of work that they did. The auditors, extremely professional, and they don't hold back any punches. They do their job well and really put us through the ringer. But that's what we want. We want good feedback. So you'll be hearing from those folks later. Also, as you know, and many of you are wearing your own councils, the privacy policy issues with law coming up. Harry's working on that for both the UPD board, and then we're also looking at that. Rachel's working on that for the Slovisa board. So we'll make sure all those things are in place for you. You won't have to worry about that. And finally, I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas next week. Really looking forward to just a little bit of hopefully quiet. But I hope you all enjoy time with your family and your loved ones, and you have a really nice Christmas and New Year's. And while you are snug in your bed enjoying your Christmas Eve, we'll be out there working on the street so you can have a peaceful evening. Other than that, unless you have any questions, that's all I've got.
Thank you, Chief. While you have the stand, item number 7, acceptance of donations.
Yeah, so we have 2 donations for your consideration. Let me get to that. First donations from Dan Pay. As many of you will remember Dan for the Magna sub for Santa for $2,500. And the second donation from Jerry Garrett for $100 to Midvale Precinct. And we appreciate both of those folks and their generous donations. So I'd submit those for your approval.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the donations as discussed.
I'll second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 8 is approval of surplus. Chief.
Yes, sir. We only have one item, 2021 Toyota RAV4 that's being surplused, and that's in your packet, and we seek your approval of that surplus item.
So, Mr. Chair, I move we approve the surplus item of the RAV4 as described.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
One other item, Chair, if I may, I forgot to mention, you see on by your seats there, these little bags that Harmony put together with some help, and some of those things were mailed to us from our insurance folks. They just do that, and so we appreciate them. And then there's other items in there for you to enjoy. What was in there? A coin? Was there a coin in there? Our 15-year anniversary coin, if you can believe that. UPD's been around for 15 years. And
Awesome.
we're still going strong, and next year's going to be our best year ever. So, so I hope you enjoy those items, and thanks for doing that, Harmony.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 9, Chief Mazrin and Debbie Sanchez, quarterly budget amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair Board. You should have received the quarterly budget amendments in your packet. They are the budget amendments for the second quarter, and we did present them to the Finance Committee on Tuesday. As always, the amendments are color-coded to associate the revenue or the source of funds with its corresponding expenditures. So for the second quarter, overall amendments for the fiscal 25-26 budget year is $46,455. They are found in the following. In the general fund, we are reallocating $2,000 from the communications equipment and $4,000 from small equipment in the public order unit to small equipment in the drones department for the purchase of interior drones. We are reallocating $926 from capital to small equipment in the motors division to purchase helmets. We are reallocating $8,000 from light and power to small equipment in the SVU VCU division to replace the ID system that's used by all divisions and precincts and partner cities. The current ID system is no longer working. And then we are reallocating from several funds in the SWAT division. You can see $5,000 from education and training, $1,200 from computer components, $930 from communications equipment, $12,000 from surveillance equipment, and $9,000 from ammunition, all going to the small equipment in the SWAT division. And these transfers are needed to replenish the small equipment budget, which experienced unexpected costly expenditures to upfit a SWAT vehicle with appropriate storage devices and explosive breaching tools and materials. In the precincts for Magna, as Mads presented, we received a $2,500 donation from a private citizen, which is going towards the Sub for Santa event. We received a donation of $700 in Mill Creek. We received a donation of a $799 bulletproof seat cover. That again was from a private citizen, but that was presented to the board at the November 20th meeting. And then for Midvale, we received a $100 donation, which was presented to the board just now, and that will be used for as needed in the Midvale precinct. So overall, in Fund 10, the general fund, the total amount was $43,056. For Magna, it was $2,500. For Mill Creek, it was $799, and for Midvale, it was $100, for a total of $46,455. That completes the budget amendment. Do you have any questions?
Thank you. We want to So we need to open a public hearing on these quarterly budget amendments. Could we have a motion, please?
So I move we open a public hearing to discuss the quarterly budget amendments.
Second.
We need a roll call on that.
Director Brems,
Yes.
Director Cardenas, Director Daly, Director Gettle,
Yes.
Director Jackson,
Yes.
Director Keegley,
Yes.
Director McCalman, Director Peterson, Director Prokopis.
Is there anyone present that wishes to speak in the public hearing? We have a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a motion to approve resolution 25-1203.
I will make a motion to approve resolution number 25-12-03 of 2025. The resolution to approve amendments to the fiscal 2025 budget.
Second.
Is there-
Is it the 25-24? 25-26?
25-26.
Oh, it says different on the paper. Sorry, I was reading it.
Is there any discussion on this? All in favor? Excuse me, do we need a roll call on this budget?
Yep.
Thank you.
Director Brems,
Yes.
Director Cardenas,
Yes.
Director Daly, Director Gettle,
Yes.
Director Jackson,
Yes.
Director Keegley,
Yes.
Director McCalman, Director Peterson, Director Prokopis.
Thank you. Is our auditor present? Okay, so we'll move to item number 4 on the agenda. Do you want to?
Yeah. Okay, so we've already, what we did in the financial committee, that's what I'm reporting on. Pretty much we just saw and heard and passed the amendments. The other thing we had was the audit, and as Debbie is going to mention, if you just read it without the background behind, you might get a little scared. It's like, oh my, what's happened here? But then you realize it's basically because of the separation between the two agencies. So overall, it looks good. And we'll find that out when we look at the audit.
Thank you again. So nothing like coming down to the wire. Erin is going to be here, going to be presenting through Zoom. As I pointed out to the Finance Committee on Tuesday, we had one of the pages that we weren't certain that the numbers were correct. We found that it was in the original budget. We worked on it going back and forth, Erin and I, yesterday. I was finally able to get that to him late last night. And so this morning he was putting that in so we could get the final completed audit to you guys. So I apologize that you don't have it in your packets. He does have it. He did just send it now, so we do have it available for you to review. I will be going over the, but in order for him to complete that, he was going to have to present through Zoom rather than try and drive in. I will be going over the management and discussion analysis pages. Those are on pages 5 through 11, and that's because that's the section that I write. And it shows the comparison from this year to last year. And then Erin will complete the rest of the audit with the audit financial statements. The highlights, they address the continued impact of UPD's separation from the Sheriff's Office. And as I told the Finance Committee on Tuesday, I want to say that as I talk through this, I don't want you to become alarmed. I'll be using words like decrease and negative and loss, but it's not an indication in any way of UPD stability. This was our first full year of being separated from the county. And so because of that, we did have some impacts. But we are on solid ground. We're doing well despite all the changes and the impacts. If we'll go to page 8, Angie. There. Okay, as you can see from the table, the total net position on June 30 is 16.76 million. 9.98 million of the net position reflects our investment in capital assets, such as equipment and vehicles. Obviously, we use these assets to provide law enforcement services to our communities. So consequently, these assets aren't available for future spending. 4.2 million of that is restricted for payouts that we made after June 30 in the amount of $2.5 million, which is found on page 52, but I will go over that in a minute. And then the remaining restricted is for the Utah State Liquor Law allotment in the amount of $11,700, and then a grant allotment in the amount of $30,080. Then the remaining 2.54 million is unrestricted net position, which may be used to meet ongoing obligations. Also on page 8, you can see that UPD had a decrease of $5.2 million in pension-related deferred outflows, which is attributed to the departure of the sworn personnel following UPD's separation from the Sheriff's Office. If you go to page 10. On page 10, the table shows that revenues total 66.59 million. As you can see, however, the separation was evident in the negative $3.55 million net change in revenues and expenditures. One of the most significant impacts of the separation was the loss of the county's 20% payment for member fees and any grant or miscellaneous revenue associated with the Sheriff's Office. The result was a $13.6 million decrease in total revenues. Conversely, with the departure of the Sheriff's Office and its operations and expenses, which totaled expenses totaled $69.4 million, which is a decrease of $10.7 million. So as a result, the net position decreased by $3.26 million. You can see from the graph that member fees and charges for services make up 97% of total revenues. However, because all of you increased your contributions to help make up for much of that loss, the table shows that the investment earnings decreased by only $1,200 and other revenue was down by only $100,000. On page 11, go to the graph on page 11. It shows that public safety represents the largest expense at 59.4 million or 85%. And that stands to reason because that is what our organization is all about. Page 12, you want to go to page 12? Page 12 addresses the changes that we made during the year to the budget for both the general fund and the special revenue fund. These changes were presented to the board and approved each quarter. These are just some of the highlights of those changes. In the special revenue fund, this is where
Debbie, I'm going to interrupt room one moment. I apologize. This does not have the updated language that you gave me yesterday evening.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to make you aware of that.
I've got it here, so. Okay. The change that I had to make and sent to Aaron last night, the special revenue fund ended the year with actual expenses being $289,000 more than the final budget. And this was due to a rare event in which we had 27 full pay periods versus the normal 26. This was created when the pay period ended on June 28th of 2025, but was not paid until July 4th of 2025. So it fell into this fiscal year. When that happens, we have to do an accrual to move it back into the fiscal 2025 years, and that's what created the additional payroll. We also had to do 2 additional days, which included June 29th and June 30, and accrue those back in. And so this resulted in the special revenue fund going over budget. So I just wanted to point that out. So overall, the final budgeted expenses, not included transfers, increased by $262,000. On page 13, that shows the classification of assets and long-term debt. The majority of our capital assets are in fleet vehicles, 8.48 million net of accumulated depreciation. We purchased 3.26 million and we surplused 1.73 million during the year. The table under long-term debt is a breakout of the line item on the table on page 8, but I don't need you to go back to page 8. But it's a breakout of the lease, OPEB, and claims line that's found on there. It shows a $1.66 million decrease due to changes in compensated absences, OPEB liability, workers' comp, auto, general, dental, and lease liabilities. So for the fund balance, at the close of fiscal year 2025, the general fund reported a fund balance of $8.5 million, which is $696,000 more than we had last year. Of that, 1.5 million is restricted for compensated absence obligations. 295,000 is restricted in evidence monies. 688,000 was set aside for capital expenditures, which was the what we thought we would need to get into the Western Hills building. Let's see, 850,000 is assigned to self-insurance, which we are looking to increase, and that leaves 5.18 million in unassigned fund balance. The UPD board has expressed a desire to maintain a fund balance at a minimum of 8.5%. And of general revenue, so that'll calculate to 2.2 million, and that leaves $2.91 million in unassigned fund balance for the general fund. Now, going to page 52, if you can go over there. Okay. Yes, okay. Subsequent events. These are events that happened after the year closed and that are significant, and because they are, they need to be noted in the report. For UPD, the subsequent events that we experienced was even though Salt Lake County Sheriff's Office separated on July 1st, 2024, at the end of June 2025, we were still working through evaluation analysis regarding the vehicle, equipment, and cash transfers to the county. A final settlement agreement was signed on September 23rd, and a payment of $1,005,000 was paid to the county on October 6th. On October 23rd, UPD paid Slavisa $964,000. Now that we have received the final numbers and they're complete from the audit, we anticipate making a final payment in the amount of $563,000 before December 31st. After that, the Southeast and the Southwest Island districts, as well as the Salt Lake County Fund, will be closed at the end of fiscal year 2026 and will no longer be reflected in the Special Revenue Fund. On July 28, we entered into a lease agreement with Granite School District to occupy their Western Hills Elementary School. This is now UPD's logistics building, which will be home to the records, IT, communications, radio, and property and evidence departments, as well as the investigations forensics unit. The lease is a 20-year lease. It has 2 successive 5-year renewals, and the annual lease for the first 5 years is $76,500, and it will be increased by 10% every 5 years. Effective July 1st, UPD discontinued its agreement with Salt Lake County for risk management services and contracted with Intermountain Claims in Salt Lake for workers' comp and claims management. And then the following contracts and services will continue with Salt Lake County. They are fleet services and IT software services until we can establish our own services. So that completes my part. And then Erin, if you want to take over from here.
Sure, thank you. That was a superb job. She went over all the numbers wonderfully. And so I will focus my comments on what I am engaged to do, and that is provide an opinion both on the financial statements as a whole and then the governmental and state audit compliance reports that we also issue. And so if you want to go to page 1, This is the first page of our 3-page opinion, and that is a clean or unmodified opinion. Even though there was, as Debbie mentioned, a state legal finding on the budget overage in the Special Revenue Fund, Precincts Fund, that will be reported, you have a clean opinion. I've likely said this in the past, but one of the first things that I do as an independent auditor is go through the planning phase of the engagement. And I have discussions with Debbie and her team, and we just assess the overall internal control environment. We want to make sure that we just have that good gut feel, that audit warm fuzzies, as I say often, that we can go in there and say that there is a well-designed department, especially around the finances, and that the controls that are in place are actually operating, that the tone at the top is appropriate, and then when we make inquiry of staff for documents or explanations, we don't expect everyone to have immediate knowledge and be able to turn around, grab a piece of paper from a filing cabinet and hand it over. But we do expect them to have reasonable knowledge and to be able to provide us what we request in a reasonable amount of time. And without exception, that happened. And so when we can do that, then we know, okay, the operations that they hope and plan to occur throughout the year are likely occurring, even though we're there for about 1 or 2 weeks looking at a sample of transactions and getting an assessment of the internal control environment. We really do feel like that Debbie and her team are in, oh dear, I hit a button. I apologize. Debbie and her team are doing a great job. And so I wanted to report back to you as a board of that fact. And that is a direct result of getting a unmodified or clean opinion. And so I wanted to move quickly to page 22. This is the budget to actual for your special revenue or precincts fund. This is what she was talking about. You can see there on the far right column, about 3/4 of the way down, total expenditures. We compare the actual column to the final budget, and that's what that variance column is. And so the actual expenditures were $252,000 higher than your final amended budget shows. You can see if you go up there, the salaries and employee benefits for both general government and public safety. When you add those two together, that is the culprit, as she discussed in her presentation, that the cash basis, or when you actually pay your employees, is different than when we have to record it in the financial statements. And we record the salaries and wages when they are actually earned. And so that accrual is largely the result of this budget overage. And so that will be reported as a minor or other finding in the state audit compliance guide. It is not a financial statement finding, but it is a state compliance that is in the back of this report. So if you want to go to page 61, this is the report that we are also required to issue any governmental entity. So the government auditing standards require us to look at the reporting and compliance with the applicable standards. Part of that also says that we do gain an understanding of the control environment and that we communicate any issues that we feel the entity has. and that when appropriate, we test the operating effectiveness of these controls. And I am happy to report that given the constancy of change that UPD has dealt with these past couple fiscal years, and with that change, there has been a lot of internal changes that needed to make place in the control environment. And I feel like Debbie and her team have done a great job navigating these changes to make sure that on a day-to-day basis, the controls over finances were superb, and that they were the tone was adequate, and they did a great job. And so this report does not show any deficiencies in control or compliance. And then we will go to the next page, which is, the final report, which will be on page 63. This report does not reflect the finding yet because those final changes and wording got to me late, and this meeting being early in the morning, I will have that within the hour to Debbie so that she can have her final approval and then put it in there. But all it will say is that there was a budget overage in the precinct fund for that $252,000. And that the conclusion is that the finding has been satisfied because everything that needs to take place on a budget standpoint has already been taken place. In all other results from this, our testing of the procedures in the State Audit Compliance Guide did not result or find any other matters that we needed to bring to your attention. And so I do feel like everything went well, as or better than expected. And I'm happy to field any questions that any of you may have.
Are there any questions?
Mr. Chair, could I address one issue? It's minor, but Aaron, a couple of the notifications are addressed to the sheriff. I know that in word processing, things live on forever, but I would request you amend it to change it. I know there's one on page 61, and I think there's another one. Just change it to read the chief of police before it's accepted by the board.
Done. I will make that note right now. Thank you. I will make sure that that happens.
I don't have a question, but I did want to thank Debbie and your team and everyone on the board here too. It's nice to see an audit like this come through and not have to worry about what we're going to do to satisfy the findings. So thank you for you and your team.
And I would like to say that the reason that we have this report is because of your contribution and your support to UPD. So you guys stepped up big time in a big way when the separation happened. And so that's why we're in the position that we're in. So thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, we'd like to entertain a motion to accept the audit.
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the audit and approve resolution 25-12-01.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote?
Yes, I would recommend that.
Director Brems,
Yes.
Director Cardenas,
Yes.
Director Daly, Director Gettle,
Yes.
Director Jackson,
Yes.
Director Keegley, Director McKelman, Director Peterson, Director Prokopis.
Thank you. That was unanimous.
As far as the financial report, there is one thing that I did miss. We did have a presentation with the compensation study that was done. Specifically, UPD board wanted that done to find out where our civilian staff were at in a market value. So I'm wondering if we want to have anybody mention just a few words about that. Overall, it was good.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you. Just real briefly, it's a little early in the budget cycle to be talking about this stuff, but we did commission a study back in August. It was started, a company called Pontifex conducted the study for us. They came back with their findings in about mid-October, provided that to us. So I've taken the opportunity to crunch those numbers. I provided that information to the finance subcommittee on Tuesday. And just in a very 30,000 foot view of that, we're doing very well. As an organization, we are right in market. So that's really good news. There are some specific job descriptions in the civilian market that we need to adjust. The sworn market's doing very well. And the study shows that we are in market on the sworn side of the house. So that's extremely good news. I've presented that information to the finance subcommittee members, the study itself, and then the numbers that I crunched down so that they can review that. Certainly, if any of the other board members would like to look at that, we can share that. But at this point, it's not ready for public release. So that's kind of where we're at. Any questions on any of that? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, item number 10 is approval of the November 2025 UPD board minutes. Any changes, discussion on those minutes? Have a motion, please.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve our November 20th, 2025 UPD board meeting minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Item 11 is a notice of upcoming meetings. Our next meeting will be in this chamber on January 15th at 9 a.m. Last item is, do we have a need for a closed session today?
Mr. Chairman, we do not see the need for a closed session. So I would recommend that we pass that item and move to the next item, which I believe is adjourn.
Is there any other business? We have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.